Thank you so much for taking the time, as I say every single Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I really mean this. I want to make sure that you all write down some new ideas, strategies. I always say and feel like if you have three nuggets that you can use in your practice when we hang up the phone this afternoon, that changes your business for the better. It was worth every minute spent here with us this Thursday afternoon. So please make sure you're paying attention, right? Most important, I want you to have these nuggets and win. We have a set of Apple AirPods we're giving away at the end. And I'm going to ask a question. The answer will be in the slides that we are reviewing over the next 45 to 50 minutes. Okay, so make sure you're on until the end. And of course, you got to answer first and correctly. We have Apple AirPods and an IUL prospecting book that fits perfectly with our presentation today. So, and you'll see why in just a few more minutes. But also, if you have questions, comments, feedback, good, bad, indifferent, we need and want to hear from each and every one of you. So please use that Q&A pane that you can expand or minimize. Okay, every single week I get probably 10 to 20 emails during the webinar, and they say, Bill, how do I answer the question for the prize at the end, right? Well, just like I said, you can minimize or expand the go to webinar pane. Okay. And it should be pretty simple to figure out. But if you love the content, please share. If you think we should do something different or better, right, next week, please share too, because this is all based around our agents' feedback, right? We want you to succeed and it becomes a win win win. So let's shift gears. What are we talking about today? It's A Plus Mutual of Omaha. I know most of you are familiar with the company, okay? But with that said, here we are, right? Q1 2026, and their offering has gotten even better, more competitive, okay? Customer service for us, for our agents, is even better, right? Five-star reviews for the carrier, which is rare. So I wanted our VP, Michael, who's joining us. In fact, he has his internal Joshua on as well. But I wanted them to come on for about 30 to 40 minutes here and share the latest and greatest with Mutual of Omaha and what's so neat about their offering. And I know you're familiar with the Levinson and Associates, with our strategy, right? With our business model, right? We try to be a one-stop shop, right? When it comes to life and annuities, and most recently health. Mutual of Omaha is exactly that in a nutshell when it comes to life insurance sales, supplemental products, all right, even health insurance, even standalone long term care. So I love that philosophy. They've always been an excellent company. So I think you're going to love what Michael and Josh have to share today. Let's jump into the first slide here. I'm going to talk quickly. I only have a couple slides, and then I'm going to turn it over to the guys. So, real fast, what we're speaking about on the slide in front of you is most important to all of us here at Levinson. Okay. It's you. It's our customer. It's our number one, right? They always say the customer, the client has to come first, right? With any successful business model. And I believe that. Okay. And I think the proof is in the pudding. So our customer, our client is you, right? It's not the prospect, the consumer. It's our agent. It's our GAs, our MGAs. So when you share these things on our Facebook page, on our Google reviews link, it means everything, not just to me, my family, all of our employees, our extended family, right? We now have employees in 4 states, okay? We share this. In fact, we had a luncheon today. We brought in lunch for our staff because of the positive feedback, the great emails we get in from you all. Okay, I always say, 99.9% of the time, I think we're going to be perfect as far as customer service for you all and for that 0.1% chance that something gets dropped through the cracks, something isn't handled properly at a carrier level, at our level, pick up the phone, call me or Carrie, or send us an email. I'll get back to you the same day, and we'll try to make it right. That's my promise to you. So please keep sharing, okay? Please keep sharing feedback. Okay, we have Andrew on, our VP of marketing, right? There's something, maybe it didn't feel right or didn't sound right. Pick up the phone or shoot us an email, and we will make it right. And that's the promise that we give to you constantly. Let's move to the next slide here. This is my last slide, and then I'll turn it over to the guys. But what I want to do is talk about our expo first, and then Mutual of Omaha is going to share their featured presentation. And then when they're done, about 10 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to share some great social media strategies, some marketing pieces, some new tidbits on our new lead program that's a discounted offering. So make sure you're on until the end. And then, of course, the giveaway we'll do right before 3 p.m. Eastern. So let's focus on the slide in front of you. So first of all, Michael from Mutual of Omaha will be at our expo as well. It's only about 5-6 weeks away now at this point on April 17th. We are capped at 300 agents per the fire code. So we're getting close to the limit. And my point here, as soon as we hang up the phone, make sure you are RSVP, that you're in. It's complimentary, but I want to make sure you get in before the cutoff. It's very, very important because we cannot fit another human in that room after 300. Okay, so we'll include the RSVP link in our thank you email that you'll have this evening. But here's what is unbelievable, right? It's so exciting. Our promise to you, and my personal promise to you, is these expos are always bigger and better. Right. And you talk about, 3 nuggets from this webinar, right? My goal is you walk away with 20 nuggets after the expo. You meet some great agents and agencies that are out there in the trenches, just like you during our networking lunch, right? You have 15 of our core carrier presentations. We have 2 keynote speakers now. One is a member of the Forbes Council. The second one is the infamous Joe Ross, okay, one of my favorite sales coaches in this industry, period. Okay, probably the most sought after industry keynote in this country, literally, bar none. I just found out last week he's going to make it. He's got an awesome presentation, and it's the top 20 ways to sell IUL in 2026. So that's going to be amazing. Right before and after lunch, we have our keynotes. Make sure you are RSVP'd. I said it 3 times already, but it's that important because we're filling up, especially after this last Joe Ross announcement. It's going to be a day you won't forget. It will change your business, your life, your business life, okay, and even your personal life, because guess what's going to happen because of it, right? Your bank account increases because you have more sales. Your spouse is proud of you, right? Kids are happy because you just planned a 10-day vacation, right, with the family over the summer. Okay, it's a win-win-win across the board. No reason not to be there. Let's move in to our feature presentation of the day. We have Michael and Joshua joining us from Mutual of Omaha. Michael, are you there, buddy?
I'm here. Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, everyone. I have to say this, and truly comes from the heart. If you're working with Levinson Associates, they are one of the top premier organizations you could want to work for. They do a tremendous amount of production with us, which we love. But more importantly, they do things the right way. Everything we get from them is coming. They look at everything that we get. We have very few technical issues. They do a great business. And I will tell you, if you're on the, if you're on the, fence about the Levinson Expo, you should go. Because even in my role, I learn a lot of what's going on with, the other carriers and their products. And I always come out of there with sales ideas of my own from everybody there. It's a great deal. So like Bill said, when this is over, sign up because it is well worth your while to go. Anyway.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate that.
No,
Thank you.
It's the honest God's truth. I look forward. It's one of my favorite events that I do all year. We wouldn't miss it. Anyway, myself and Josh are going to talk to you a little bit today about our product offering, and we're going to start off with looking at, we're going to concentrate on the IUL products today, both of the fully underwritten as well as the Express product. So Josh, go ahead and forward and start moving this presentation along, if you will. One of the things that I want to tell you is we have a terrific product portfolio. So while we're going to concentrate today on the IUL, you know, we have all types of products. We're kind of the breath to death carrier, if you will. And, you know, we do have long-term care, final expense, cancer, heart attack, and stroke, children's whole life, and even accidental death. So what I can tell you is if there's a need for anything you're looking at, we can certainly help you with that. And you run that through Levinson and Associates, and we'll get it done quickly and efficiently. Go ahead, Josh. So what I will tell you is, and these are going to come with some kind of some sales ideas too. We'll work those in. But we have a very wonderful IUL portfolio. Ours is structured. We have the lowest cost in the industry in our products. One of the things that I'm going to tell you about, and this is something to keep in mind, is that Mutual of Omaha uses a portfolio money approach. So this protects those who have purchased our products in the past, because they are going to get the same crediting rates as the new folks are going to receive. We are mutually owned by our policyholders, so we're always going to do what's in the best interest of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to protect the integrity of the products that they buy. We have great cap integrity because of consistent performance across what we do. And we are one of the very few companies who will actually publish on a website our crediting rates and cap rates. So I challenge you to find any other carrier that's going to do that. The other thing that I think is important, and this is something that you can always mention to your customers, is that since our inception, and we've been around about 120 years almost, we have never in the history have increased cost of insurance on life policies. That is key. There's not many carriers who can make that claim. So we'll move on, take a look at our portfolio that we have. We do have an income advantage index product, and this is designed to, build accumulation and have the ability to get some very good cash values and use index loans and things of that nature to supplement income and things of that nature in the future. We do have a protection advantage product that is designed, it is guaranteed to age 90, but this thing will run to 120, but we will guarantee that to run to age 90. And then we have an express product for smaller face amounts and things of that nature. Josh will touch on that a little bit later on the presentation. So if you look at us on here, we're taking a look at the income advantage, which is the accumulation product. And again, we do not have multipliers and things of that nature built into our products. What you see with us is what you get. Our expenses are very low on that. We use the S&P 500 and we're annual point to point on all of our products, and with any choice of participation rate and cap rate that you're looking for. We do have Bank of Annuity Agility Index. That is in there to kind of settle some things down and when markets are uncertain. But this product does a very good job, especially considering the low cost. On the go ahead to the next slide, please. On the life protection advantage, we have the similar types of participation rates and caps. You'll notice that they're a little bit lower on here because of the built-in guarantee, but it's the same basic strategies that we have in the other one, but always point to point, 12-month. Bank of America Agility Fund is in this one as well. Here's one of the slides I'm going to share with you today, and I think this really shows the importance of considering the expenses in products when you are showing them to your customers. So in this particular instance, we're looking at a male who's age 50. He's a preferred non-smoker. And on this sample, this guy is paying $20,000 a year, 15 pay. So if we look in the first box, it's a year one charge, okay, out of that 20,000. So you can see there's 4 carriers listed above. Carrier 1 is charging 3,930, all the way down to Carrier 4 charging 3,244. Mutual of Omaha is only charging 10.4%, and that's $2,080. If you look at the cumulative cost and charges in year 15, you can see there that Mutual of Omaha is substantially less on their charges than all the other carriers. Those are going anywhere from 14 up to 34, and we are at just a little over 8.5%. And what that actually means is how much of the actual dollars are going to the participation rate in year 15 over that time, right? So you can see some of these carriers, you go from like 197 up to 257,000. With Mutual of Omaha on that, the differences in the expenses coming out of that product, we're at 274,000. So we're doing a very good job with that. And again, this is a site you can go to. This www.discoveriwl.com. This is where you will get all of our cap and crediting history that we publish, and you can see it's all out there since inception of the product. So we are proud of that. That's something we hang our hat on. Now, one of the things here in this writer section, once I get through that, we're going to talk about some concepts that will help you with your with some sales. We do have a fully underwritten long-term care rider that's available on both of these products. It's available everywhere except California. We're still fighting to try to get that approved out there, but the state of California doesn't seem to want to work with us on that, but we'll see what can happen. This rider actually works best on the income or on the life protection product, but it's available on both. It is a true reimbursement rider, and we're going to pay based on actual expenses. And it gives the insured the opportunity to access all or a portion of life insurance death benefit, early for covered long-term care expenses. And I will tell you, we have a terrific standalone product, and this mirrors that. We have a great history of long-term care experience, and we have included that on this rider. Now, if somebody gets declined on this rider, they automatically revert back to a chronic illness rider that is in every one of our policies, and that is something that I'll touch on here in a few slides. To continue on with the long-term care rider, this is an upfront cost, so there's no discount on the back end of this thing. And again, here, if your client is looking for a $1 million to $1.2 million face amount, choose the 4% benefit payment. It costs the same as the 2% benefit payment. So you might as well get the bigger bang for the dollar there. This right here, this second point, I think is a very, very important point to think about when you're talking about this rider. The cost of the insurance on that rider is guaranteed not to increase. As a lot of people know, people who have had standalone policies, across the board for a number of years, those have all seen significant increases in the cost. So on this one, we are guaranteeing that not to increase. Once the long-term care rider benefits are, being used, the charges for that rider are waived, but we do have to still continue to charge for the life insurance and any other riders that somebody may have chosen. So again, they have access to all or a portion of the death benefit for this rider. Any unused long-term care benefits are going to pass to the beneficiary, tax-free in the death benefit. And so keep in mind, you can structure this so a portion of the face amount is only used for death benefit protection, so you can kind of design that. There is a website down here, www.mutualofomaha.com/long-term care-rider. There is a ton of information in there that will go over a lot of the details of this rider, and I encourage you to take a look at that because it'll answer a lot of your questions. We do have some really generous living benefits on here. The first one is the accelerated death benefit for chronic and terminal illness. This is the word I was talking about a little bit before. So this allows 80% of the death benefit up to $1 million. For California, that's $500,000. So if anybody can't perform 2 to 6 ADLs, or they have severe cognitive impairment, they can access that. If someone has a life expectancy of 12 months or less, they also can access it. The nice thing about this rider is there's no additional cost for this rider. We do not do any underwriting for this rider. And here's something that's really important, and really take a note of this. A lot of other carriers are going to have some type of a similar rider, but usually with those, they're going to cap the age at 74 or maybe include table 4 rating as a limit. With Mutual of Omaha, there's no age limit and there's no table rating limits. So if, for instance, you have a 78-year-old who's a table 6 or worse, if they take the policy, this rider is automatically on that. The other rider that we have on here is guaranteed refund option rider. What this does is this is for people who are 60 or younger, and it just gives an extra layer of protection. So there's 7 60-day windows that policyholders can surrender a policy and receive all their premium back. If they do it in year 15, they can do that with 50%. We put that in there back in the day because another carrier had that. We have not seen anybody really exercise that. This goes back to even our old GUL policies. But in years 20 through 25, they have access to 100% of that. This rider also allows people to purchase multiple policies off of one application in $1 million bands. So let me tell you something about this. The reason that that's important is this. If somebody has a $2 million need and they get 20 years down the road and they don't need that full amount anymore, if they used our Grow Rider and bought 2 $1 million policies, they can now take one of the policies and either surrender it and take that cash and pay up the other one, or they can take a reduced paid up policy on one of them and still have the other policy in hand. The way that works too, when you look at our guaranteed refund option rider, or using that with the idea of the chronic illness rider, keep in mind that chronic illness and terminal illness rider is limited to 80% up to $1 million. So in this case, if somebody had a $2 million need and they were 60 at the time or younger and bought 2 $1 million policies off of that one application, now they have 2 pools of $1 million because we pay that off of policy, not per insured. So somebody now, instead of having a maximum off of one $2 million policy of accessing 80% up to $1 million, now they have that on 2 $1 million policies. So now they have, $800,000 to access on 2 policies, as opposed to just having that tied at 1 million on a $2 million policy. That also works if somebody decides that they would like to have the long-term care rider, but they don't want to, they want to maybe have a less expensive type of arrangement. So if they bought one policy at $1 million with the long-term care rider on it, and they had one that didn't have that on it, but had the chronic illness rider on there, that's going to save them some money and still offer them protection. So those are a couple of the things to look at and consider. And I will tell you one thing about that is we don't have marketing pieces around that. And I wish we did, but we don't. But those are some concepts to think about. The other thing that I want to share with you is the importance of stress testing your IUL illustrations. I think this will help set you apart because a lot of reps go out and they sell an illustration and they run the illustration and it looks wonderful because everybody's using, here's the current crediting rates, here's the caps, all of that. But what some people need to see is what happens when things don't perform the way they should. I encourage every one of you, whatever kind of illustration you're having run, whether it's on an accumulation product or whether it's on a protection product, is to use some years in there where you're showing 4.5%, 5%, maybe throw in a zero and things of that nature in there, because everybody loves to see how great things are on an illustration, and you can have that, but you should have a subsequent one showing, well, here's a scenario where things don't go according to a perfect plan, because there is no such thing as a perfect plan. So if you want to set yourself apart, show the people what happens when it doesn't perform. In this situation here, we have a 45-year-old male, preferred non-tobacco, again, $25,000 premium for 15 years. We use an increasing death benefit for those 15 years. And then we start taking index loans out in year 21 for 15 years. Now, when we illustrate the max amount on that, you can see all these carriers are within, $10,000 of each other. And I will even go so far as saying, you're going to see us probably at the lowest accumulation value right there because of what our maximum illustration rate is versus some of the other carriers. But if you go down the line on the bottom, you start seeing what happens with crediting at 5%, 4, 3, 2, all the way down to 0. And look at the income that's coming out of there at those points in time. Because of the low expenses we have, we're always going to be showing some income coming out, even in years where it's 0%. So go ahead and go to the next one, Josh. This second one is an example on the guarantee product to show how long it's going to run. So we saw premiums to run to age 120 on a 65-year-old preferred non-tobacco. They want to carry out to age 120. And you can see here all the other carriers in line. If we're going at 5%, we're going to go to 107 all the way down to get into 0%. We're still guaranteed to age 93. And as long as those premiums are being paid, regardless of what happens on ours, to get it to age 90, it's going to make it there. So you can see all of this has to do with what are the expenses that are in these policies, whether it's a multiplier, any of those type of things. The expenses are critical to look at, because everybody's going to say 0 is your hero, and that's great, because if there's a down year and 0 is your hero, that means you didn't earn anything. You didn't lose anything, but you didn't earn anything. But what oftentimes what people fail to realize, and this is, a lot of reps don't mention this, and this can set you apart too, is that even though you may have earned 0 in a down year, which is good, they're still taking out those expenses from those policies. And that's extremely important. That's why you really need to take a look at the expenses in any policy you're selling, whether it's ours or any other carrier. We'll move on a little bit from that. Talk a little bit about underwriting. We do have a FIT program, and this uses some social credits, some economic credits, some health credits. That there's nothing that you need to do to get these. We do this by looking at the APSs, just looking at records, and we're able to find and apply these credits. But this is designed to get people who are table 4 down to a table 2 or a table 2 to standard. It's not a shade program, it's a crediting program. And we've done a terrific job. And I can tell you, we probably do that on about 85% of the cases that come in, because they're within the age range to do that. Go ahead, Josh. We also have an accelerated underwriting program for all of our fully underwritten products, whether that's our term life answers or the IULs. We'll do that up to $2 million for people who are 18 to 60. We don't have random kickout questions on that. It has to be an e-ticket or a drop ticket through iPipeline. What I will tell you on that is, if we see something in the MIB or anything that causes it to have to move from an accelerated, it will automatically go to our fully underwritten process, we'll let you know that, but we're not going to make you redo any work. We'll just notify you that it has to go through traditional underwriting. The last thing that we put together for underwriting is our fluidless underwriting program. We obviously didn't have a contest to find a clever name for that, so that's what we titled it, because that's what it is. And this is really kind of a special program. This is for people who are 30 to 65. They have to be U.S. citizens or have a valid green card. And these are for, people like taking an annual executive physical that's done in the U.S. or within the U.S. territories. If it's done within 18 months, we can go 2 million up to 5 million. If it's done within 12 months, we can go from 5 million to 10 million. This is really one of those things that we see a lot of times that happens with, executives. If you're working with any business owners and, in that arena where these executives have to take these exams, we will use them. And with that, I think we're moving on to the simplified issue products. Josh Morehouse is going to be talking to you about this a little bit. And again, there's some very good ideas in here as well. And I may jump in and interrupt him because I'm just that guy. Anyway, go ahead, Josh, take over.
All right, thanks, Mike. I'm Josh Morehouse. I am the internal or account executive here at Mutual of Omaha. And I'm going to go over our IUL Express product. We do have a full simplified issue product portfolio as well. I'm not going to go over any of the other products that are in IUL Express today, but we do have a Term Life Express, Living Promise or Final Expense product, Children's Whole Life product, Guaranteed Advantage, which is also like a accidental death product, and a Critical Advantage portfolio, which includes cancer, heart attack, and stroke available as well for simplified issue processes. So for our Index Universal Life Express, the way that we will underwrite and also give coverages is it is tiered based on age. So we do have a 25,000 to 300,000 base amount available from ages 18 to 50, 25 to 250,000 for 51 to 60, and then 61 plus is up to 150,000. Now, saying that, we are currently in the process of looking at raising those caps on face amounts, and starting as of April 1st is the plan. We will have up to 550,000 available on a simplified issue process, which is going to be about the most that you'll see from a true simplified issue process that is going to be available, and not accelerated, but simplified issue. Then we have a standard tobacco and non-tobacco as the risk classes. So there is not a the preferred plus and the sub-tier classes available. So they have to either go standard tobacco or non-tobacco. It is going to be a opportunity with all those index strategies that Mike already went over. So we have 100% participation, higher participation, lower participation, and a Bank of America US Agility Index, as Mike touched on earlier, for this product as well. We do have a few living benefits with this as well. So we do have terminal, chronic, and critical illness up to 80% of the coverage that is available to take out as a living benefit. We have waiver of surrender charges for partial withdrawals rider. So in certain circumstances, whether it is the client having major damage to a house, them losing their employment, there are some opportunities to waive surrender charges when taking out withdrawals. Then we have a guaranteed insurability rider that allows for additional coverage without any underwriting in certain age ranges and face amounts to start out with that. Then we have a lapse guard rider. Again, that's going to be more when they are, if they use this kind of be able to overfund and take out some funds as they go along. It's a way to keep the policy in force. Then we have a couple of for-cost riders as well that you can add on at additional cost. So we have an accidental death benefit rider that will give some extra coverage in case of an accident, a disability continuation of plan premium. So if they become disabled, we're going to continue to put in the premium just as they had done previously, but they will not have to be adding any of the premium themselves. We have a waiver of policy charges that basically will make the coverage at no cost. It does not add any additional money into it, but they can still get a return on that. And there will be no policy charges taken out if they become disabled and not able to work. And we'll cover that in the meantime. And then we have a dependent children's as well to help cover 5 or 10,000 if something happened to their children.
Hey, Josh, before you get into that, I want to mention one thing. On that IUL Express, everyone, if you are, that's a great product. If you're working with some young folks who are looking to buy, maybe a 10-year or 20-year term policy, pitch this to them. It's going to cost, roughly the same, maybe a little bit more, a little less than a fully underwritten term policy. But this gives them an opportunity to have a policy that's guaranteed for 20 years. And it also is building cash value and things of that nature. So that's one cross-sale opportunity or one option you have. And also, if any of you are working off of any type of a final expense lead, if they seem reasonably, healthy and things of that nature, this is also a good option for somebody because, final expense products typically are going to be capped out, in the 50,000 range, but this can allow somebody to maybe get more coverage for a similar premium and sometimes often less expensive. So just keep that in the back of your mind, and I will let Josh get back to his chats.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Yeah, one of the nice things is a lot of times when you're quoting final expense is that you will probably see somewhere around 15,000 in final expense would equal somewhere around our 25,000 minimum for the IUL Express, and that is so that it runs out to age 120 at the current rate of return. And so it is something that we feel is going to be a secure policy for the client throughout their lifetime, and will be something that can be done at a more coverage for a cheaper rate. Again, they can go down to 25,000 in coverage for that. And so that's a little bit different on the Express versus fully underwritten, where the minimum is at least 100,000. So another great option, and we go out to age 75. So obviously you still have some clients that may be 76 to 85 that could go final expense. We're not going to be able to cover in that IULE, but it can go up to 75. Then in terms of quoting the product, it's very simple. We do have a quoting tool that you guys can either download on your phone. It's going to be Mutual of Omaha Quotes for Sales Professionals is going to be the name of the application that you can download. You can also download, do it off of our website and be able to quote off our site as well. And there is not a agent login or anything on this. So it is something that anybody can go in and download and be able to quote. So this is kind of what it looks like. There's going to be a opportunity here that, again, you're going to have the ability to customize it to different products. And you're going to also be able to do this for different states and the different simplified issue and health products that are available. And we have a, this is what it looks like when you go in for IUL Express. You can go and choose either a premium or face amount. You can select the state. You're going to do the age, male or female, tobacco use, and again, face amount or the premium that you solve for. And again, very simple, easy process to be able to just set up a quote, again, to run to age 120 to be able to do these easy solve quotes. And that's kind of what it would look like at the end of it, is going to be able to see the rate and then what the off of the face amount that you have. So in terms of the whole process on IUL Express, running a quote, complete and submit the application, then you have a new business and underwriting process, and then policy delivery. And all of that can happen in 2 to 3 business days, and being able to have a policy placed in force. We even have a issuance where we can, where underwriter doesn't even have to look at it in certain circumstances. About 40% of all applications are going through with an instant issue process, and you can have the policy issued same day that you submit it. All right, that was what I had to cover on IULE. Gonna open it up for questions, or if you guys had anything else that you want to take over on.
Yeah, well, Mike, are you still on?
I'm still on, you bet.
Okay, okay. I think, Andrew, do we have any other questions that came in you couldn't get to?
Looks like we got them all here.
Okay, okay, great.
Okay.
All right, do
Well,
you,
then,
you
Bill,
guys want to
can I
end?
just tell you
Yeah.
again, thank you for allowing us the time to meet with your in this meeting, and everybody out there. Again, any questions you have, all you have to do is reach out to Levinson and Associates. They know us extremely well. They do a great job, and we are very pleased to have an opportunity to talk to you all. And Bill, again, thank you. We appreciate all you guys do for us.
Absolutely, and great job, especially with the dog barking in the background, because I can relate to that. So I totally get it. I love it. We're all dog people here. And I see, by the way, we have a record number of agents on, which is awesome to see. So kudos to each and every one of you. Josh and Mike, thank you again. And what I want to do now is jump into, you have some great product ideas, some strategies, and I'm going to show you how you can get the word out with social media, with our lead programs, with some great ideas, all built around supplemental products, life, and now, spreading the word and opening new doors. So let's go to our first slide here. And by the way, I know you want to learn more about certain products, Mike and Josh touched on. In the thank you email tonight, we'll have all the product brochures, we'll have contracting, we'll have some consumer marketing material that's approved per the Mutual of Omaha home office. So you'll have everything that you need at your fingertips. And then, I know a lot of you are appointed currently. Most of you are with us, which is great. Some of you are working with us with some carriers, and then with Mutual of Omaha, you're with another upline. So I encourage you, reach out to any one of our marketers, right? Once you move the appointment under Levinson, obviously you get to take full advantage of our tools, technology, the scholarship program, which is all complimentary, and cash for contracting or free orphan leads for contracting. So as soon as you transfer the contract, you have your first application in and paid, then you are eligible for either program. Okay, and 99% of the time we beat your existing comp anyway, so it makes for a win-win-win across the board. Let's move into our first slide here, right after how to get started. So what I want to talk about quickly, and this is a huge deal. So with right now, right, we spoke about Moo, and they have up to $10 million no exam underwriting, right? That's huge, especially when you look back, think right even before COVID, 2018, 19, right? Most carriers, maybe they went up to a million. It was face to face, right? If you were lucky, there was an e-app and things would speed through in a week or two. Okay, now you fast forward, technology has changed tremendously, right? We just spoke about 10 million. Pack Life has another great program, right? Especially when you think of vanilla term or GUL. Okay, and then we spoke also about Banner Life now going up to 5 million, right? Issued direct to consumer within same day. You'll have a decision, in fact, within minutes. The policy can be issued within 24 hours or same day. So things have changed for the better. It's amazing to see. So here's three carriers: 10 million, 5 million, 3 million, right? All no exam underwriting, typically approved and placed within 48 hours. So with Banner, what we did is $150 with your first paid application, cash above and beyond top commissions. With Pack Life, we just rolled out the same thing, another 150 bucks cash above and beyond, right? Your top MGA type commission levels. So the reasoning behind this, and I mean, if you just think about it, $150, is it a lot of money? Yeah, it certainly helps, right? Maybe a couple of full tanks, right? These days, maybe one or two. But either way, we know when you think about 24,000 plus agents, right? This could add up quickly for us, but we know once you go through the process one time, right, with either Moo, with Banner, with Pack, go through the process, get the approval, policies enforced, clients happy, agents paid, right? You're going to be back for more, okay? And we know that, and we're willing to put our money where our mouth is, right, so to speak. So that's the reason why we do this stuff. We have our Pack Life webinar on the 26th, and again, totally different business models, different carriers, different offerings, but we want to make sure you're covered on all corners. So for stripped out GUL and term, they have the most competitive pricing out there currently. Okay, and then with Banner, you know the story. With Moo, you just heard the story, right? More of a one-stop shop, hitting all bases in the industry. Let's keep moving forward. What I want to do next is talk about quoting, right? You now just heard the great pitch from Josh and Mike. You want to jump in, get some quotes, right? Especially on the FEX side. So we have a few different options for interactive real-time underwriting programs, quoters, right, with built-in underwriting. So we're the only IMO that has 3 to 4 different options with a free legacy safeguard platform to help you get your foot in the door with final expense sales and the Sage Scholarship Program, all available at no charge. This is one of the quoters that you're looking at. So again, final expense quoting left side, and then boom, you can enter in as little or as much health info that you have. The system is going to tell you the carrier, right, product, health class, premium. You start a new case, you're off to the races inside of our website, never even leaving our technology. So, and again, all complimentary. And then also take a look at the red box, top right corner. You're going to see Moo #1, okay, which you're going to find most of the time, right? They really shine when it comes to final expense. So let's keep moving forward. Legacy Safeguard, I just spoke about. This is great. So if you're working senior market, especially with our new health department, that's about a week or two away from launching, right? Senior health, you're opening doors, you're telling your story, you're bringing up a final expense on the next visit, okay? What a great way to market yourself, right? By being the senior, final expense burial guru. And you have all of the marketing material and the planning that you can review with that client and set up this whole package for them, right? Once they buy the policy from you, and it's all at no charge. It gives you a leg up versus your competition, okay, which is most important. Huge value add, especially when tied into the free scholarship for little Johnny or little Shelly. That's a $40,000 value that no one else can give out, right? Unless they're 11th agents. So anyway, I'm going to show you exactly what that looks and feels like on the next slide. In fact, what we do is, and this is awesome, first time in years, we have our CEO of Sage joining us on the 9th. Okay, so April 9th, around the corner, we have the CEO of Sage. He's going to jump on, share all of the latest information, all of the latest colleges that are now in the program. But what you're going to find here is Mutual of Omaha was the second carrier to approve Sage. Okay, what does it mean? All of the carriers that I'm sorry, all of the products we just went over with Moo, right, that Josh and Mike touched on, guess what? Comes with a free scholarship, right, for that client, for their children, for their grandchildren. It's a slam dunk conversation, and they're going to say yes every time. Why? Because obviously the life insurance, right? Very competitive. They need, let's say, a burial policy, and they have two grandkids, right? 4 and 7 that are going to be going into college, right? They want to get this value add, in this case, almost $50,000 of tuition, right? That's a big deal. 440 colleges in the country. It costs the client zero. It costs you zero just by being a Levinson Sage approved agent. And they have their own, it looks like an online checking account at Bank of America, but it's the Sage Tuition Rewards Program. They log in, see how many points they have. Every year you do a policy review, they get 500 more points. They give you a referral, 500 more points. Every point is $1 of tuition rewards. Think of Delta, right? Frequent flyer points. It's a no brainer. I'm telling you, especially with how social media is these days, right? Is this great content for you to put a new reel out there on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, right? You got to think like this. And it costs the client nothing, right? I think that's the slam dunk here. All right. Anyway, you get the point. Let's keep moving forward. So, if you are, let's say, a newer agent or maybe a seasoned agent and you're running out of people to talk to, okay, and you want to work more leads, maybe you want to get involved with seminars. I love this program, the one you're looking at right now, LeadStar. Okay, in fact, they're going to be at our expo. They have a booth. What I love about this is, right, if you want to start working the senior health side, okay, you want to get appointed, you want to start working some leads, live transfers, mailers, right, call ins, whatever, all the above. This system does everything for you, including offering discounted leads for final expense, Medicare, okay, annuity mailers, seminars. Everything is built in this package. They have a dialer, a recorder, especially for the health side. It's all compliant, and the leads are starting at just $15. Okay, so again, no brainer. It's free. It's a free platform for active Levinson agents. Okay, let's keep moving forward. I just want to make sure we get everyone out on time. Okay, I love these two social media posts. By the way, if you're not posting at least 1 to 2 times a week, I hate to say it, but you're riding a horse in reverse around New York City in 2026, which should not be okay. Okay, I mean, seriously, if you're in this business today, okay, and you're not posting, not just an image like what you're looking at now, but also a reel, a quick video. Take it on your iPhone. Okay, talk about how important final expenses in 2026 and how you can offer right this platform, this turnkey burial program for that client once they buy the policy and a free scholarship for their grandchildren. Speak about that for 2 or 3 minutes, and I guarantee you'll have at least 2 to 3 DMs, right, or emails that say, "Hey, Bill, I saw your 2 minute video on Instagram or TikTok or LinkedIn, and I want to learn more." Okay, and what it costs you? Nothing. It's free. Okay, you got to try it. If you get 2 new sales, referrals, right? It's a win. So you have to look at things like this moving forward. It doesn't matter how successful you are or not, right? You got to get the word out on social, period. I recommend at least 4 different platforms. Use the same content on all 4 platforms, right? That's the cheat code. All right, anyway, left hand side, life insurance versus living benefits, okay? Is this rocket science? Very simple. Okay. I'm not saying copy it exactly, but you don't have, I always say you don't have to reinvent the wheel, change a few spokes. Okay. Here it is. This just proved that one post, left hand side, one of our agencies, over 50 likes, comments, and shares. Right hand side. Okay. Another agent. You insure your car, your house, your phone, but not the person who pays for all of it? Question mark. Okay, almost 100 opportunities here, right? Shares, reshares, comments, likes. Do you think maybe 5% are going to reach out directly, right? And that's on top of you being proactive and reaching out to everyone that liked your post. Look at the opportunity here. 5, 10 new leads cost you nothing. Let's keep moving forward. You get the hint. Bill Levinson Experience Podcast. This is huge, right? Speaking of social media, I interviewed Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, in 2019. We just found out a couple weeks ago he's going to do a part two for our agents in October of this year, right? It's also my birthday month, right? It's a breast cancer awareness month. We do a nice charity a give back to the organization. So anyway, point is that's exciting. Okay, it's all about social media moving forward. Like it or not, it's happening, and I hope you're a part of it. Even if you didn't start yet, it's okay. Start today when we hang up, okay? Even if you get one or two likes. I cannot stress it enough. Anyway, this was another great episode, number 65, right? If you got a guy, you got a girl, right? The net worth is 10 to 15 to $20 million. Maybe they're a business owner, maybe key man, whatever it is. These are some great strategies, and these cases will change your life. Average size target premium is $100,000 to $1 million a year. Do you think that'll help you have a good 2026? Absolutely, it will. It just takes one relationship, one person, and you're done. They'll even do all the heavy lifting where you still get the majority of the commission. This is worth 45 minutes of your time, folks. Let's keep moving forward. Okay, the 411 newsletter. I encourage you all to check this out every other week in your inbox. We have so many carriers, so many products, new technology, new lead programs. It's impossible to keep your finger on the pulse, right? 24/7, unless you have a cheat sheet like this. That's why we do it. So, anyway, if you're not getting this, let us know. That means it's sitting in your junk folder or we have your incorrect email address. Okay, let's keep moving forward. This is our menu of training events. So every single week we put this out and we meet up, right, with the marketing team. We try to figure out what our agents would love to see, what's going to move the needle for you all. And then we put this page together. What I do want to speak about quickly on the bottom, right? Joe Ross, one of my favorite sales coaches in the life industry, he's going to talk about new IUL strategies and the ultimate $3 napkin presentation sales idea. That's going to be a big one on May 14th. And like I said, he's going to be a keynote at our expo on April 17th. You can't miss that. And then our other upcoming webinars are in front of you. This is my final slide, and then we'll put a bow on this. And we are on time. Look at that, 3 p.m. Eastern on the dot. What I want to talk about first, left-hand side, Positive Tuesday quote. Hitting your goals is great, but raising your standards is absolutely priceless. Never settle, right? You know what you're capable of. If you're not hitting those numbers, those goals every day, something wrong, right? You got to take your 20 minutes of downtime, regroup, write some notes down, right? For the next day, start over and make it happen, right? Whatever it takes, that scrappy mindset is what wins races, period. And I know you're capable. I know we're all capable. Let's have our question of the day come up. Whoever answers first and correctly wins Apple AirPods IUL prospecting book. On us, we'll announce your name right now. Get your little fingers on the keyboard. Let's rock and roll. Question is, I spoke about our keynote presentation at the expo, which is only 5 weeks away. What's the topic? What is the topic? I mentioned it earlier. Joe Ross is one of our two keynotes at the expo. What is he speaking about? What is Joe Ross speaking about during the 2026 expo keynote? Whoever answers first wins. And Andrew is going to tell us who was our big winner today.
Okay, we have Rodney W. was first. Rodney W.
Rodney W., congratulations. The topic is the top 20 ways to sell IUL in 2026. You cannot miss that presentation. I'm telling you, he knocks it out of the park every time. If you never had a chance to see him live, I promise. I mean, if you don't like what he has to say on April 17th, come see me personally because I one way or another, we're going to take care of you. And I would be very surprised if you didn't love watching him speak, right? And most important, helping your daily practice. With that said, everyone's a winner because if you go make a comment, leave a review on our Facebook page, our Google reviews link, we'll send you a prospecting book on us as long as you're an active Levinson agent. Have a great day, great selling. Thank you again, everyone.